Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. At one level, you must admit that some parents who take great care to love, to tend to their children, they're there for their children. At some level, they may not want to put their children in a certain setting with kids who are raising themselves. There are kids who are raising themselves in Barbados. There are some parents who they have children, but they didn't plan for that child. They didn't plan for the children that they have. And the children are barely surviving the experience in Barbados. So let's get that clear. And there are some parents who do not want to spend money, time, energy, love, care on their children and put them with those particular set of children that can pull on their children. They don't want to do it. Okay, let's understand that that's something that exists. Okay, now within the public school setting, where taxpayers are giving their money to pay teachers and to have that system in place, that should be streamlined. If you don't want to send your children to the public school setting because you're afraid that they may be influenced by kids who are raising themselves, you're going to have to put your child in a private school. You're going to have to pull your pockets with that mentality and put your child or your children in private schools. But public schools should be streamlined. There should not be any apartheid. There should not be any separation like the older schools like Queen's College, Harrison College. That should not be. You cannot continue doing the same thing and expect different results. I don't understand why Ramona, Archer, Bradshaw, and Rudy Love and all the others expect something to change if they're doing the same thing over and over. Over and over, you're doing the same thing. Everything that you're doing is just a duplicate and you're trying to make it look different, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing, okay? The public school system should be streamlined, and whatever they are teaching at the old Queen's College, because that needs to be pulled out, and the old Harrison College, because those names need to be removed. Whatever they're teaching at those schools should be taught at all public schools. Okay, all public schools should have the agenda and the curriculum and whatever syllabus that is being explored at the older schools should be taught to all schools under the public school system. The brighter kids should be encouraged to tutor the slower kids. It should be encouraged, okay? If you're in the public school setting, that should be encouraged, okay? And if you are thinking that the kids who are raising themselves in the public school setting and the kids whose parents, are not well suited to be parents, if you have all those thoughts, you should have that opportunity to pull your pocket to put your child in a private school. Okay, go off and pay for your children's education right through to the time they go off to college. Okay, you pay for that. Okay, but for the public schools where taxpayers are paying teachers, paying for that to happen, it should be streamlined. You need to stop the apartheid. Queen's College needs to be no more. Harrison College needs to be no more. Whatever, St. Michael's, whatever schools that are looked at as brighter kids going there, that should be eradicated. That should be eradicated. Okay? You need to do things differently if you want to expect different results. Okay? Number 3, you're talking about another school incident. Number 3, it's more than 3. You mean it's the 3 you threw out there in the news? There are more than 3 incidences, okay? And they're talking about the meeting is fruitful. What was fruitful about the meeting? What has changed? What has changed? Okay, every time you look in the paper, you're seeing about the schools this and the teachers this and the buildings this. What has changed? Your minds need to change. You need to get rid of the apartheid school system in the public school system. Okay, you need to get rid of it. If you are paying taxes for teachers to teach your kids, you should make sure that the agenda, the curriculum, the syllabus is taught throughout all the schools. It should be similar. It should be the same. It should be throughout all the schools, and kids who are brighter and who are older maybe can tutor the other kids to pull them up to speed. Just pull them up. Teach them that. And if you think that your child is better and needs to be among a certain set of other students or whatever, pull your pockets and send them to private schools. Okay? But there should not be no Queen's College and no Harrison College, anything like that within the public school setting where taxpayers are paying the money and it's coming from you. That money is coming from the citizens. And then they're going to look down on your kids. Don't allow that to happen. Change it. Change it. Okay? When you're paying for something, your kids should be benefiting for what you're paying for. Your kids should benefit, not somebody looking down on your child. You know, streamline all of that. Streamline the public school agenda, the public school syllabus, the public school curriculum. Streamline it, whatever is being taught at the old schools, because I said it has those schools the names need to come down, and all that needs to be eradicated. All of that needs to be eradicated. So whatever that taught at those schools should be taught from the time the first formers get into the schools, however early you need to start it. But it should be across the board, depending on what parish you're in, what school is located where. You will get the same education. It's the same education. Encourage the brighter kids to tutor the slower kids. Encourage it. That should be part of your agenda. That should be part of your structure, where stronger kids in math and stronger kids in literature and English or whatever can tutor the ones who are younger and a little bit slower. Teach them, have little get-togethers in conferences and in places where education can flourish. Okay? It's not only the teachers that should teach, it's the brighter kids that should teach also. Encourage that within the public school setting. If you don't want to send your kids there, if you think that you have a father and a mother in the same house, and you have money for lessons, and you have money for this, and you have money for that, and you think your kid is better than the other kids, and you don't want other kids pulling down on your kids, you don't want your kids tutoring other kids, send them off to private school. Pull your pocket, send them to private school. But within the public school setting, there shouldn't be no pedigrees in schools. There should not be any apartheid in schools. There should not be any segregation in schools. Streamline it. You have to do it different if you want to expect different results, okay? You cannot continue doing the same thing and expecting things to change and showing up in the paper talking about a grip on school violence. And number 3, from the time the gates opened, something was happening. From the time the school gates opened, there were things being done, because even while they're home, they're saying, I cannot wait to get back to school, because I remember on the last day before they went on vacation, this happened. When I go back on the first day, I'm going to start it all over again, whatever. You think they don't think like that? They don't think about the last day and then think about the first day? You think they're not? If I know that they're thinking like that because they're telling me they're thinking like that. You know they're thinking like that too, Rudy. You know they're thinking like that too, Ramona. You know what kind of, I'm done. This is Sherry Veronica.